Welcome to the Universal Dancer podcast with your host Leslie Zare, author of The Alchemy of Dance and the Alchemia Remedies. Coming to you from Cairo, Egypt, the ancient land of Kem. Journey with us to explore sacred dance, the sacred arts, the mystical and the magical. Join a community of like-minded souls seeking to understand the cosmic dance of co-creation through the sacred arts. Come along and expand your mind, ignite your creativity, and explore something new and something old. Welcome to the Universal Dancer podcast. I'm Leslie Zare. I'm your host for this podcast. And I have a very special guest for you today. So let's just jump right in and let me introduce you to him. Bertin Kasolene is an artist, performer, choreographer, dancer, and activist born in the North Kivu province of the Democratic Republic of Congo. He was born in Goma town, a place where young people's future is sinking due to violence against women and children, war, disease, tribalism, and unemployment. In response to this, he has directed his art towards the youth of his community, encouraging them to be positive leaders within their communities. He's been working with street kids, most of whom were orphaned from the ages as young as 5 to as old as 16. Bertin says, "The experience the children go through to survive with no chance to access a quality education and mental health interventions leaves them with no hope to have a better future." He feels called to address these social problems as an artist, dancer, leader, and survivor of social injustice. He is resolved to advocate for children's rights and to see more young people with access to spaces like educational performing arts that will build their hopes, self-knowledge, and resilience. Bertin founded and coordinated Nguvu Africa, meaning the power of Africa. This organization promotes the social well-being of young women using dance movements and contemporary dance as therapeutic tools for those affected by the ongoing violence in the North Kivu province. He also founded Inuka Dance Compagny. Bertin has his national certificate in general mechanics and is currently studying to be a professional dance teacher at École des Sablés, an international dance school in Senegal. He defines his work in 3 shons: communication, sensitization, and reclamation. Bertin is a profoundly gifted artist, especially through dance. His work is original, relevant, and powerful, and he is a role model for everyone around him. Let's welcome Bertin to the show. Hi, Bertin. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
That's
for
a
being
beautiful
here.
introduction.
Well, those are beautiful pictures. So I'm excited to get into our chat for today because it looks like you're doing some amazing work. So, but before we go into what you're doing now, maybe we can talk a little bit about how you got interested in dance. You're an artist. Did you start as a dancer or did that come later? Where did your dance journey begin?
Uh, my dance journey begins when I was really young. I think I was in primary school, if I remember very well. And I was really too much inspired by Michael Jackson, by what he was doing. And for me, it was that thing that really drive me to really be a dancer. And from there, I was just a beginner and and now I said I just have to shift in the professional level of just being a professional dancer. But I really started when I was really young.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Did you take any kind of classes or this was all just spontaneous,
Note,
whatever you felt?
at the beginning, I was really training myself, watching more Michael Jackson, and also trying to create something by myself because I think I was really a mover since I was really young, and
Yeah.
I just trying to create a lot of things when I was young. That is the reason why I started my one company, in in P5. So I was really young, and I was more creative in terms of dance and that's where my journey began as a dancer. But I really didn't go at school for train to be a dancer, but I was really trained myself and get to learn by what is happening around me and inspired by Michael Jackson. But I shift on the level, just I have to be me and dance as me. So that came up that thing, but I didn't really go to school. And yeah, I just studied like that. So I was born
But
dancer. And I'm a dancer.
yes, and sometimes that's better, I think, because it is more creative, or you're expressing yourself, or your soul is coming through in the dance. I think
Yeah,
dance training can be helpful in some ways, but in other ways, I think we want to just express ourselves through dance. Do you do other
yeah.
forms of art, or mainly dance is the way you create?
So I didn't. I'm really more focusing on dance movement, but I was also doing theater and writing, a lot of writing. So those are two things that really helped me to stick on the dance movement, and also
Yeah.
the drawing, because I did general mechanics, and from there we have a lot of courses of drawing. So that's also come my part of me being a drawer, like having a small knowledge in drawing. I was really too much in theater and writing and poetry, but the dance movement was the main point.
It's what
Yeah.
really moves you. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Where what inspired you to start working with street kids?
Um, my really journey, what's really helped me to, and what inspired me to really work with children, especially street kid, is related to my past life when my father lost his job, and I was in secondary school where I could be the only one being outside of the school because I have to pay the school fee and also access some that can help me to do the practical uh, things to, because I was doing general mechanics. So I didn't have money to buy tools that can help me to do practice at school. And then uh, teachers they used to tell me that uh, school is not for poor people, and that's really affected me and helped me and give me the force and the energy to develop my artistic side, like performing and going to the garage, and those money that I could get while performing and teaching that helped me to also pay my school fees. And I knew and I recognized that there are a lot of children that went through the thing that I went through. Then I say, let me just help also and create that safe space for young, for children, and raise their awareness on what they can do and how dance can be a powerful tool because it helped me to be whom I am today. So I think and I do believe that if those children having the knowledge in dance movement can help them increase their awareness and what they can do for the community and for themselves. And that's why I really come up with the idea of helping also other children by doing what they can do, but through movement in a way to find themselves to do better, not just for themselves, but for the whole community and the country. Because some of the time, those children, uh, they're ignored by the community and no one cares about them. But for me, as I really took that inspiration from my past life, that's really what drives me to help even be more sensitive and to see what I can do and provide as a dancer in the community. So that's why I just started working with children because dance movements help me, and I think and still helping them even until now because I have proof and fact that children that were in the street are now still doing things and they're doing good in the community. So I'm really proud of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think that that's true. I think that the journey that we take, the path that we walk, is what gives us integrity. It shows us that this is a positive thing. If it worked for you, it can work for other people. So I think that's important. I think that's important to have had that experience in order to help others to do the same thing. And with children, I think, maybe dancing is even more important than school because it teaches them how to be creative and how to do something and how to succeed at something and to express themselves. So, um, sadly, children who go to school a lot of times are not exposed to the arts anymore because that they don't think that that's important. So I think if you can give them that in some way, whether they go to school or not, I think we did a recently with Wendy, you know Wendy from the Sacred Dance Guild. We did a round table about working with children. I'm sorry I didn't know you then. I would have invited you to that because it was about working with children and how important dance is to children just generally. I can see that in your situation, it's even more important because these are children who don't have the opportunity to be exposed to the arts maybe. But I do think that dance is very healing. So if it's, if there is social unrest and things like that going on around you, I think dance can be a really good outlet for expressing that. And for you, I think I watched a few of your videos that you have on YouTube. I mean, it feels like from your videos that that's what you're expressing through your dance are these experiences that you have lived through. Is that true? Is that a way for you to kind of make statements or process your own experiences?
Yeah, okay. Maybe before responding the question, I'll just jump on the fact that how the dance can really is really helping children. And
Mm-hmm.
it can be, for me, I can really use that tool. For me, it's the unique tool for raising awareness in children and for the community around them. Because first of all, when we are going to school, there are some of the things that are really not, um, they're not being taught to children while being at school. And also, for me, yes, it's fine, but
Okay, so I was
Very
saying
good.
this. Yeah, I was saying. I just want to emphasize on the fact that children in my community, it's really better to help them improve their creative side, and they are like for me, my way of helping them having the critical thinking or adding their creative side. It's only if they are given chances to hear, to have someone that can really hear them and give them the chances to also to have the space where they can express themselves freely, where they can create or say about anything that they want, and not someone that will tell them that you are just kid or your children, you cannot do anything because you have to grow. But once they have someone that can recognize their power at a low age, it will help them increase their ability to also solve and to have practical solution in their lives, which will really help them. And that's why for me, as a dancer, I'm still using the dance movement to see how not only to give them the space, but to look for ways that can really help children to be connected with themselves through dance movement. Because that's the major part for me. I can say when once they're connected with themselves and once they have someone who can really be there for them, it can really help them to grow and do something bigger in the community and this world, even for their personal growth. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I think yes, and I think that self-expression is important because even some of us who took dance class, maybe we started at a young age. If we were taking ballet or something, that didn't give us a chance to express ourselves. We were told what we were supposed to do and how we were supposed to do it. And so yes, I think it's important, whether it's dance or drawing or singing or whatever, to give the child the chance to express themselves and to be heard. There's so much wisdom in children too. If adults would just listen, very often I learned more from my children than anybody else. I just that they're amazing, and
It's
sadly
amazing.
people see them as something to be controlled or to be tamed or broken, or I'm not sure really what it is, but it's sad because children on their own really are so creative and have so much to offer. So yes, that's beautiful. So how do you work with the children? Is there do you go to different places, or do you have a school, or how do you actually do that? How do you work with them? Where do you work with them?
Okay, so the first thing that I'm doing, I'm also trying to work with different kinds of children. But for example, for those ones that are in the streets, I just have to go and find them in the streets and create a space during a certain period and work with them. And also, there's really specific training that I'm doing just for them, their awareness, where I'm mixturing them with street kids. So I don't want to tell them street kids. So that just through the children in the streets and children at their homes and children in the orphanages and the one that have disabilities. So running a class together with those children, measuring them together, for me, it's a way for them to learn from each other, and to
Yes.
emphasize the fact that they have to be conscient. Like, for example, a children who is at his home having everything from the parents, have something to learn from the children, maybe who is in the street and who doesn't have someone that care, but he's the one running everything for himself. And also the one that have a disability on something, so they have something to learn from each other. And while sharing that side, it's also a way for them to learn and considering each other with like acceptance, And for example, that's one I'm going with children. I'm going to look for children in the streets and then work with them during a certain period and putting them together. And after that, we have to do the counseling session because they have so many reasons that puts them to be in the street. And then we just invite them, talk, having serious conversation with them, and also involve the conversation with some of the parents because they have different problems that makes them in the streets. For those that are ready to go out, to go back to their children, to their houses, so we can just give them back to their children, to their houses, and be together in the family. And also, there are some of the ones that we just put them in the families, and others being in the orphanage that welcome them. That's why I'm also building something that really in partnership with some orphanage and also centers that can welcome children in a way to grow. Because for me, I don't have the ability and I don't have the force to build something good or house where I can put children. But I think with in collaboration of other people that help me to also reaching my goal and not seeing them in the streets. So in response to the question, I want and look for children in the streets. And also, like for the other video that you saw on my YouTube channel, it was in a refugee camp due to all the things that is really happening in the country. So for me, I found the need of going and see and work with children in the camp because they don't have access to education, they don't have any assistance. And for me, I thought that can be a way for me to really help them because they are in the need. No one cares about them. Even their parents, they're also busy to look for something that they will eat while being in the camp. So I just choose better to go and work like for 3 months, working in the camp with them, creating something, and at the end of the 3 months, they expose in the public space. So I'm really trying also to include their parents as well and the government as well and everyone so that they can be aware of what children have. Yeah. So I'm really
and to do it in an open space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So everyone can be involved and everybody can see what's going on.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So you have two different organizations. You have the Nguyu Africa. Maybe I'm not pronouncing that right, but you could pronounce it better. But that and your dance company. So how did you tell us more about the organizations and what they do?
Okay. So I'll start first with Nguvu Africa. Nguvu Africa is the Swahili word which means the power of Africa. And from there, we just really promoting the social well-being of women, the one that are really marginalized in the community, especially young girls, because really they need and to be a mom at a low age, they're not really welcome more in our community. So for us, we're just trying to have a safe space where women, they'll be coming and learning about the potential that they have, even if they have babies, even if they have disabilities, even if they're not feared in the community, but a safe space that will really give them chances to grow and really be women again and have the bright future, not just for themselves, but for also the babies that they have. And that's why we are developing really more platform and projects and programs with them. The one is for entrepreneurship, because we have to let them be more entrepreneurs, and also initiate them to practical work that can help them gain money, being more independent, and also the fact that they have be more connected with their inner body, and that comes the dance, because they don't know more about the how their body function, because that is so a bigger problem that we still have in our community. Sexuality is so a bigger topic, is considered a taboo, and which is so affecting so many young people, especially women. So I think having clear conversation about how their body function and how they can be really good, be aware of everything, it can help them fulfill and also avoid some of the things, So that's why I'm also like we are really involve all those things, those tools to really help them, especially also to increase their ways, because there are certain qualification and places that they are still giving women in my community. So I think also if they have a place where they can be expressing themselves freely, all the thought that they have of the women, they can also change. Because for me, the women, the women as the whole nation. So if they have a true consideration, it can really help them, and it can help even the world to be better. So by the time that we do not consider that, the fact that for me as as the founder of Nguvu Africa, I said that it's really good to really involve more girls and women, see how they can be together in order to construct something big and stronger to help this community of ours, and also initiating them to the movement, because that's my main goal, that's my base. Once they have the connection with themselves through movement, they can be talking, they can be creating, and they can be collaborating at once, because it's still that become that the fact that also they have to collaborate, and also creating the connection between young men and young girls, because they have to collaborate in a way to break out that stereotype that they're so putting to girls, that they are nothing in the community. But by the time that girls and men that are working together, it's really something good that can help them spread out good energies and positive change. And that's all the time through movement, because they are, when we are in the session in the hall, for example, we have the time to discuss about the problem that's so stopping us from not moving, and we are just trying to move those problems into our bodies in order to find solution among us, So it's like really a clear conversation that we have, and a clear connection that we are creating through movement in the same hall, in one hall, and find one solution together.
I think dance is a beautiful way to collaborate, because it does show you how we can all move together metaphorically as well. But and I think that's a great idea if you're trying to educate people about their bodies, to try to do it through movement where you're actually using your body, because we are really disconnected from our bodies. I think most people, even if you've been educated, you've not been educated about your body and how it moves and reacts, and to be even connected to it, to be curious about how it moves and reacts. So dance, yes, would be a beautiful way to do that. And what about your dance company? Sorry?
Okay. Yeah, I was saying that the dance is really a powerful tool for us to do it. And for me, I'm so sick on that, because I know what dance did for me and still doing for me. So that's why I'm so emphasizing on that, because if like everyone in the globe is a dancer, like everyone in the world is a dancer, because in a way of eating, staying, working, we all doing movement and we are dancing. But it's just to be aware of that we are dancing, but people are trying to ignore that and to really ignore the fact of movement is our daily life and dance movement is our daily life. It's really the daily life. It's really we dancers all the time, but people are trying to ignore that, and that is the reason why I'm trying to use that thing that people really ignore all the time to put in the benefit of, in terms of education, in terms of connection, in terms of conflict resolution, in terms of everything, because that defines us as human beings. Yeah.
I think
And
sometimes people think that dance is something that you had to learn. You're right. All these movements that we do are a dance, or the cosmic dance as we dance through life. But I think people relate the concept of dance to something that a professional does, or that you have to learn from somebody else, and don't relate it to their own bodies. So I think just bringing that awareness to people is important, to make them realize they're already doing it. They don't have to learn it. They're already doing it.
yeah, I just let them to be authentic to themselves, and that's the beautiful thing.
I think that's true. You create a container, or you give them space to express themselves. Nobody's doing that. Nobody wants to listen or let somebody express themselves. Everybody wants to talk and tell everybody else what to do. So I think that is really unique. You mentioned in the opening, in your intro, that you define your work in the three shuns: communication, sensitization, and reclamation. So what does that
Yeah.
mean? How do you do that?
Okay. Those are really things that really define me, because when those two things are really together, it's the whole life for me. Because when I'm defining myself as really uh, to sensitize for something, really to educate, like there is something that is happening, and we have to sensitize people of what is happening for the positive change. For example, in my community, so I'm really based on my community first. There are so many things that really are not really going well the way really I wish as the young and as young leaders. So we have to sensitize people through the movement, and that comes my way of being activist as well, and also to sensitize youth to the fact that they have ability and power, and they have to be conscious to really take the action in the present, because as you see, most of the young people, they are now putting themselves in the past or being far in the future and trying to ignore the present. But for me, as a dancer, as a movement, as a mover, I'm so also calling upon to people to really recognize the importance of being in the present, because the result of the person that I am now is the work that I did yesterday, and the person that I want to be tomorrow is what I'm doing now. So it's really a kind of me really to sensitize people to be aware of what they have, like youth in general, to be really aware of what they have as a potential, which they can really put out in a way to really serve the community. And also reclamation to what, because uh, we have to really reclaim something that we need, that really we have a right, but so people are still they are not really, they're trying to ignore us as youth. But also it's a way for us to really ask what is for us. And as a dancer, those are really things that really drive me to really go for it. I'm also trying to ask what is for me, but not really asking and pointing fingers to people, but also uh, to really let myself also, what are you doing? To be conscious of what I'm doing. It's like an example that I can give. Like everyone is asking the part of the cake, but what am I doing also to contribute on the cake to be a cake? That's the idea beyond the tradition. So it's really kind of ties a lot of people to be aware of what they have and what they can do without judgment, but to be authentic for themselves and to do things the way they want in this community, in a way to change things positively. And that is also I'm trying to call my dance movement is a positive weapon for positive transformation. Like for me, my body is just sometimes I'm saying that I'm not a good speaker, but I'm a good mover, because through movement I'm saying everything that, and everyone can really hear and understand me uh, than even talking. So I'm not really a good speaker, but I'm a good mover. Yeah.
You communicate. We all communicate in different ways. Yes.
Mm.
No, absolutely. So what are the challenges that you face promoting arts and education in a region that's faced with violence and these issues that you're combating? How, I mean, obviously you just do it. You go into the streets and you do it, but there must be a bigger picture too, and a bigger way to impact also. What challenges are you facing?
The challenges first, it's also the way people were so welcoming as an artist, like me as an artist in Goma or in my community, because it's something that people are not really recognize it or consider. And that's also the reason why I didn't say about Inuka Dance Company, which is my dance company. So Inuka is also a Swahili word which means raise up. So with that was really my purpose to have the company. It was also to change the narrative beyond artists, dancers in my town, because once you present yourself as I'm a dancer, they will say like you're a loser, you cannot do anything, you'll not succeed in life, or you're just wasting our time, you're just there. There is no really something that can really give the chance to even to parents to encourage their children to be dancers or to be one day a professional dancers. So that was really something that drives me to have the company, because I do believe that having the company will create so many ways to put children together, to create so many opportunities for young people, and also to promote our dance community. And for that, we just created a lot of pieces that help us to connect directly with the community, because that's my major part. Once the community understands first the power that we have as the dancers and the power that we have, and so doing for still impacting the community in a positive way, that also raise awareness in the community to say that yeah, they are dancers. They also trying to spread out, or they are saying something good for our community. So we have to support them, to let them be aware of really how they can consider artists. And that's the reason why we are developing the public spaces too, and less than having a hall or something like this. But through the company as well, we also have the project of a dance festival, which is now on the fourth edition. The festival called ADC Urban Festival, ADC, which says storytelling. We're also trying to invite other dancers, other professional dancers, in a way to create a bridge for local artists and international artists to be together and learning from each other. Because for us, for me in my community, we don't have a lot of chances or opportunity to travel and meet other artists or to expose our work in an international level, which creates a big barrier between us dancers and dancers from my country and dancers from other places. So I just realized that as a dancer, despite all the things that the challenges that I would say after that I'm still facing as a dancer, but what can you do to create a bridge that can connect artists from different places and learn from each other in a way to spread out good energy or expose ourselves, because we have something to say, not just for ourselves, but for the whole world, because calling myself a global citizen. So those are some of the things.
Yes.
And in connection then to the question, this we have a lot of things and difficulties that I'm still facing, and that's the only thing that help me to stick on what I'm still doing is always being committed. Because by the time that the community is not accepting you the way you are as an artist, or there is any support from the government or from the people around you, so the only option is to quit. But for me, I don't want to be a quitter. I don't want to quiet. So I just have to be there, to be committed, and to really see and do what I can do with all the people that are still also helping me to embrace the bigger vision that I still have. But it's really with a lot of challenges, the acceptance in the community, the spaces, because we do still facing the problem of having a space where artists can still also express themselves freely and having a place where they can be dancing. But that's also something that I'm also really working hard, because with all the experiences that I have, also being at a cul-de-sac and also learning from different mentors of mine, because also I didn't tell you, but also in the movement of Golden Bridge movement with Dr. Melissa Michael. I think you had her one day.
Yes.
So she's really my
Yes.
mentor, and I'm still learning a lot of what she's doing, putting so many children from all over the world and gather them over a certain period, creating something big and create the space. That's the thing that really inspired me all the day. And I think also with the hope and the courage that I'm still putting in myself, having a space also where I'll be creating for so many dancers, it will be a way for me to spread out those good energies and to, to really break out all those stereotypes that, and also to reduce a little bit on those challenges that I'm still facing as an artist dancer in my community. But in one word, what I can say is the thing that really not pushing me to give up on my vision as a dancer is having a strong commitment and also pursuing my life journey as a dancer, because I do believe to the fact that the have and how my dance movement also is so impacting so many people in my community, and not just for my community but myself first, because um, before healing other person, when I'm dancing, I'm healing myself first. So it's really
Absolutely.
something big that I really consider a lot, and I don't want it to just being like something that is not really doesn't have meaning. But having that commitment all the day, it's really helped me and so helping me to really pursue what I have. But challenges are really a lot, a lot, a lot.
So, what advice would you have for somebody that's in a community that may be facing these kind of things? What advice would you give them if in pursuing the arts?
Um, so the first thing is to know why you're doing things, why you want to be an artist. Once you have a clear why you want to do something, it will help you to pursue everything that you want. Because once you have a clear why, it will help you also to have a strong humility while embracing something. Because it really requires a lot of wisdom. Because even I, at this level, I'm still learning a lot from all the people, even if even from children, even from all the young people that I'm still working in the community, and even elders with Nguvu Africa. But I think I'm still trying to be just a good student. And the thing that I will also advise for someone that want to pursue his life as an artist is just to really be able to really accept first to learn and to being a student, and also to have a clear why of why he wants to do something. Because if you really have a reason, a clear why I want to be an artist or a dancer, it will really help him or her when he's reaching a certain level, when he's like, I want to quit, or when everything is really not working hard. It will really give him or her a chance to go back to why he started doing it, you know, because that's the only
I,
thing that really helping me now.
I think that's good advice. I think that's good advice for anyone in any pursuit, is to be really clear about why you're doing it, because there always will be dark nights, and even write that on a piece of paper so that when things get dark, you can just look at that and say, okay, this is, remind yourself, this is why I'm doing this. Yes. So if people wanted to support your work, how could they do that? Is there a way that other people can support your work? Do you have
Yes.
an organization that people could contribute to, or it's just really something that's kind of internal?
Yeah. So the first thing that if really anyone wants to support my work is maybe on reaching out to me directly on my social medias or my contacts, and also through the Golden Bridge movement. So if there is something on there, so I can just receive it. But also, really personally, I'm always free and available to talk on in any way they can help. I'm always open because I really want to spread the work in the global in the whole world. And the thing that I'm doing first is started from me, but the goal is to touching more people. And if there are really people willing to help, because that's my goal, uh, they're really welcome. Don't really hesitate to reach out to me on all my platforms and everything. So I'll be really happy, and also being grateful for this conversation and creating the space for dancers. I think also through you, as we are in touch already. So if really they want to support and they don't have also any ways they can reach out to me, they can pass through you, and through you I can also I
Yes,
can be in touch with them and still grow everything.
absolutely. So let's just share these. So you're on Instagram at Bertin Leader, and all the links will be in the show notes, so you can get them from there. And that's BertinLeader. And Facebook, it's at bertinleader.kasolene. So that's the same, BertinLeader.KASOLENE. And then you have a YouTube channel, so you can see Bertin doing some dance and some interviews there. And that's Bertin Kasolene 7246. You're also on LinkedIn. That's Bertin Leader Kasolene, and there are hyphens between each of the names. And on Twitter, Bertin Kasolene. So you should easily be able to find Bertin one way or another. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
so there's no excuse. And
Yeah.
and also you can comment on the video or on any of the platforms. And certainly if you comment, I will forward that to Bertin if he doesn't see it. So there are many ways to connect with him, to see his work and see what he's doing. Well, thank you. Thank you for being my guest. It's been lovely to talk to you, and best of luck with your work. I think what you're doing is so important because really children are the next generation. We need to be concerned about the welfare of children because this is our future and where we're going. And I think we do have an opportunity to support that and to help those children to grow and hopefully create a better world through whatever they're doing and whatever they can bring. So thank you for that, and thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Leslie, for creating a space like this for artists. And for me, it's really a big pleasure to share also my point of view as a dancer and how dance so changed the life of people and how dance so changing my life. So I
Yes.
really appreciate that creating a platform like this where dancers also share and learning from each other. It's really fine, and I really appreciate it. And I'm really honored to be a guest today and share my point of view. And also, I think that to also help other people. And I'm really more grateful for that. Having platform like this, uh, it's kind of showing the hope and like really the hope of really the impact of what dance can do or what dance is bringing to in a way to change lives. And I'm also trying to tell to people like if you really need a better future in this world, we have to start with children. And this is my call upon to everyone in the world. If you're really able to do something, we have to start with children because they are there and they need our help at any time because it's really easy to guide them and to really help them achieve their dreams and contribute on something good and special for this community, for this world. Because when I'm saying about children, I'm not saying that's children in my country, in Africa or in Europe, but I'm saying the global world, like children in the all over the world. And that the fact
Yes.
that every children, like children in this earth, they have the same problem. And if we can be able to really change their lives in a certain way, so let us just do it because this is the time. We cannot wait for tomorrow or yesterday. We are in the present, so really we just have to help children because this is our time. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Yes.
And yeah,
No, I agree. Absolutely. And we don't want more traumatized children. We don't want another generation of people growing up that are already need to be fixed. You know, we get ruined and then we spend the rest of our lives trying to fix ourselves. Maybe if we just start from the beginning, help the children so that they're not traumatized to begin with, then our future could go more smoothly, perhaps. Yes.
yeah. So it will be. I really believe on that.
Yes. That's a beautiful
Yeah,
message. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thanks.
And thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so
Bye-bye. All right. Well, thank you also to the listeners for being here. That was very inspiring. I just love that message. And any of you who know me know that I believe in children and the future. And I think that's the way forward. And I do think dance is a beautiful outlet for children and their creativity. So I hope you'll also watch the episode where we talked about children and using dance with children. So if you want to find out more about what's going on, my website is universaldancer.com. And I also have a school, online school, and I have a very just basic dance as a spiritual practice course there and other things. So check that out. And I hope that you will watch some of the past episodes, and I hope to see you here again in the future. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.